Alright, guys, I have a little Demon Slayer discussion I want to talk about. Specifically about the Infinity Castle arc. So, obviously, first off, before I even get started, manga spoilers, obviously. So, feel free to scroll away if you don't want to partake in this information and just want to wait for the anime to catch up. Okay, now for me to actually talk about what I want to say. Two of the three big battles in the Infinity Castle arc I really want to discuss is the ridiculous matchups that they chose. First off, let's talk about the fight against Kokushibo. Strongest upper moon. So sending Sanemi and Gyome, the top two strongest Hashira, that makes sense. But the other two is where I have a problem. Muichiro and Genya. Muichiro I kind of understand because he's one of the strongest as well, and he has a Slayer mark, and was able to solo an upper moon pretty easily upon getting his Slayer mark. But he has the least experience of any Hashira going up against the upper moon with the most experience. No exaggeration, I genuinely think he would have been better in literally any of the other fights in that arc. Have him fight against Doma, help that absolute travesty of a match. Or just jump in the fight against Akaza. Sure, it's going to make Akaza lose way easier, but it's going to be better than what happened in his fight against Kokushibo. He threw like one attack and then immediately got blitzed in one shot. And speaking of the other person, why'd they bring Genya, of all people, against Kokushibo? Like, even if he had, throughout the entire fight, the whole demon physiology amp, he still would have been the weakest there, even with Morichiro there. He would have been nowhere strong or fast enough to compare to literally anyone else that was on that battlefield. I don't even understand what the game plan of him being there was. Hell, I would have accepted just swapping Genya for literally any other Hashira. Or if you want to swap Morichiro as well, swap him with Obanai. Hell, have Genya go and help Tanjiro. Or help against the battle against Doma. Sure, it probably wouldn't have done too much, but at least you have a healing factor that would work against Doma's blood demon art. That way he could out-heal the whole freezing your lungs thing. And now actually on to the fight against Doma, it makes the fight against Kokushibo seem like an absolute fair fight. Because you're telling me, the third strongest demon of all time, Muzan, Kokushibo, and Doma, and you send Kaneo, Inosuke, and Shinobu, the canonically weakest Hashira, and two people who are just now reaching Hashira level. Hell, Inosuke doesn't even have a Slayer mark, nor does he ever get one in the series. And yes, Kaneo with her special eyes did put in some pretty decent work. But for those that don't know, Doma only used about 30% of his power and was bodying them with just that. If it weren't for the poison, they would have all died.